Hey everybody, this is Dave here at Pulp Alley, and today we are talking about the Pulp Alley tabletop adventure game. Yes, indeed. Specifically, we're going to be talking about using perilous areas and difficult areas and what they can represent in your scenario. So we had a player recently ask about doing a scenario on rooftops. Oh, heck yeah, we've done that. Or on top of a Zeppelin or something like that. How do you deal with that? And it's really kind of built into the Pulp Alley engine, into the rules, because that's the expectation, is that you're going to be doing that sort of crazy stuff. And what it really gets down to is defining your perilous areas and your difficult areas. So let's say, for example, I wanted to have a train fight. So now I just have to decide, what do I want this to be? Do I want the tops of the train to be a perilous area, or do I want it to be a difficult area? So if it's a difficult area, then that means you can move up to 6 inches without having to take a peril. So you could easily say, well, I'm going to call the train a difficult area. So as long as you take it slow and easy, then you don't actually have to roll for the peril. And that's kind of a nice thing, the kinder, gentler way of dealing with it if you have allies and followers that are involved. So leaders oftentimes are going to be able to handle either one of those. Sidekicks normally are going to have a fairly good, decent job of it as well. Followers and allies are oftentimes going to struggle as far as perilous areas go. So let's take a look at, let's roll some dice. Let's look at this example and we'll see what happens here. So if we call it a perilous area, then that means as soon as the character activates, they're going to have to take a peril. Let's say Phantom Ace here activates. So as soon as he activates, he's going to have to draw a random peril. Just pull it off the top of the deck. Let's see, he's going to have to roll 2 successes with cunning or might. We can look at his card here. We see he's got 3 die 10 in might. So yeah, we're going to definitely go with might. And he rolls the 2 successes that he needed, so he could continue his activation as normal. So if it's a perilous area, then that means he can't move over 6 inches. So let's just say he decides he wants to move off this way instead, so he gets somewhere about over here. Maybe he throws some shots up there. For this example, we'll just say that he misses. So then when the next character activates, if this is a perilous area, then that means they're going to have to draw a random challenge. So as soon as the fellow with the sword here activates, he needs to roll 1 success with finesse. Well, he can do that. He's got 1 dice in finesse. And another thing to remember here is that you could always choose to dodge a peril. So that basically means that they're using, they're just trying to avoid it and hold on. So if I choose to dodge that peril, then it's going to end my activation. For this example, we're going to say that he actually wants to move. So he's going to try that 1 dice roll, and he fails it. So when he fails it, that means he's going to take that 1 hit. And what could that mean? That could mean he's slipping up there, he's falling, and he failed his health check as well. So what happens when a follower or an ally level character fails their health check? They go down like this. Now, what could that represent? Could that represent them holding on to the side? Could that represent them slipping off? And now at the end of that turn, he's going to get to roll for a recovery. So a recovery check at the end of the turn, and he failed that as well. So he's removed from play. Now, what you just saw there is a perilous area being fairly unkind to an ally, but that's what a perilous area is supposed to represent. It is an area full of danger A slippery footing up there. You don't want to fall off the train. Did he fall off the train? You could definitely represent that. If he had passed that recovery check, with the injury, you could say, well, he's holding on, and then when he passes his recovery check, absolutely as normal, no special rules in there, then he's climbed back up there. That's what it can represent. So perilous areas, difficult areas can represent a wide assortment of different places and things. So what if it was a difficult area? If it was a difficult area, then that means that they would not have to roll for a peril unless they wanted to move over 6 inches. So let's say Phantom Ace over here is activating. We're going to call this, now we're going to say that this is a difficult area. So when he activates, if he only moves 6 inches, then that's not a perilous area. That is not a peril. If he's going to try and run, then that is going to be a peril. So if he wants to run over here, leap up on this, and then run down here and punch this guy, well, yeah, that's going to be a peril. And again, he's going to draw that peril off the top of the deck. He's going to have to roll 2 with might or finesse. And he's got 3 dice in might. And he rolls the 2 successes he needed. Now, if he had failed that, then that means he's, the top part of that says stumble, but that means that he has failed his peril, and he stops right where he is, possibly slipping. That's what he wanted to do, was run up there. Something catches him off guard, and he slips perhaps, and is holding on to the side. If he failed that, he would also have to roll the health check. So on 2 die 10, 2 die 10 for a peril, and he failed that as well. So that means he was actually injured there. And yeah, that would make a lot of sense that he slipped off the edge there and possibly dragging along the side, and he failed it. He ended his activation right there, and he was injured. So a difficult area is dangerous if you don't take your time, because that's when accidents happen, when you're in a hurry. All right, so that's kind of the train top. Really it comes down to defining, is this a perilous area? Is this a difficult area? So let's look at buildings now. Let's just look at jumping over buildings. So again, it's the exact same thing. So if I have a character up here, and I have a couple goons or whatever over here. All right, now, what's going to happen when I want to jump over there and fight those fellows? So if I say my rooftops are perilous, then that means just being up there is dangerous. Now, you can handle this so many different ways, but the way you do it is you want to define what you have up there and decide in advance what you want this stuff to be. So you could say that the vertical surface is climbing the building is a perilous area. So like leaping off of here, jumping down here, that would be a perilous move. You could also just say that the rooftops are difficult. You could even say that climbing the building is a difficult move. It doesn't have to be perilous. This is really where you guys define what the terrain is that you're in. If for some reason you wanted all of the rooftop to be perilous, you could do that. You could also say that the roofs are a difficult area, but the area within 1 inch of the edge is perilous, as well as the vertical surface. So if we wanted to do something like that, then we could say Phantom Ace activates. He is activating within 1 inch of the edge, so that means he's going to have to draw a peril. So he draws that peril. He's going to have to roll 1 with cunning. He only has 2 dice in that. And he got the 1 success that he needed. And then with that, he could do a 6-inch move. And we look at this and we go, well, he's about an inch, another 3, 4, 5, 6. So, yeah, 6-inch move, and he leaps over to there. That is a perilous move. He rolled for his peril, and that's what happens. And then he would resolve that fight. We could say, well, this fella over here is going to activate next. If we call this a perilous area, then, possibly he's moving within an inch of the edge when he moves up there. And again, he would draw a peril. Says 1 with cunning or might. He's going to risk it and try and get that 1 dice of success. And a 2 will fail. Then he'd have to roll a health check. He failed that as well, and he goes down. And that's the perilous area injuring him. When it comes to his recovery check, maybe he's going to have to roll a recovery check. A 1 means he failed, and you know what you could do in a situation like that? You could say that represented him falling off because he is KO'd. This could be the top of a Zeppelin. This could be anything like that. We're going to do one more example here, and let's just talk about crossing a rickety old bridge. And I want to remind you, it's up to you to define how you want your terrain to work. So this could be a perilous move. He could have to roll as soon as he activates on this. Or, right, it could be defined as a difficult move. So if it's a difficult, then as long as he only moves 6 inches, then yeah, he's perfectly safe. No problem at all. If he decides that he wanted to run off of there, then he'd have to draw that peril. There it is, the random challenge. Oh, in this case, it's a free pass, and he gets across there without any problem whatsoever. Wham, bam, and he got across there in 1 move. So that's kind of fun to do too, and I actually like the idea of making stuff a difficult ground instead of perilous, because it does give you that option, and so you have a choice in there. Are you going to risk it and go for it? A lot of your leaders, a lot of your sidekicks are going to be able to handle that quick move. A lot of followers and allies are still going to struggle with that sort of thing, though, and you could end up losing your character. So that's it. That's how you treat that sort of stuff. Even if it was something as crazy, and from there on, everything is defined within those terms. What if I wanted this fella to leap off of a rickety rope bridge onto a moving train? Well, guess what that is? That, boys and girls, is a perilous move. So you draw that card, and let's see what it is. This time it is a 1 with finesse or might. He's got that 1 dice in it. He fails again. And he failed his health check, and he is down. So, yeah, dangerous things can be dangerous. Define your terrain before the game starts. You always want to try, if something's going to be perilous, if something's going to be difficult, you want to make sure you define those things ahead of time so that everybody knows, what they're dealing with. All right. I hope this helped you identify how to play those sort of things. Even if it's a rope bridge over lava, right? If it's a rope bridge over lava, basically that same situation right there. If he wanted to cross that bridge, then you'd either decide, is it a perilous or is it difficult? If he fails the peril, or if he fails if he fails the peril, then that could mean he's holding on to the side. If he failed his health check, you could say, oh, he's barely hanging on off to the side there. If he passes his recovery, or once he starts his next turn, you could say that he has crawled back up there. That doesn't mean if it's a perilous area, he's going to have to take another peril and could fall off again. So perilous areas, difficult areas fit so many different things. If you have any questions about this, make sure you leave them down in the comments. Leave a comment for us anyway. Make sure you get subscribed to our little channel. Hit that like button and the bell. And we're going to see you very, very soon. Bye, everybody.